The latest Trumpian spin seems to be that the only things this budget cuts from Medicaid are waste, fraud, and abuse, which is quite a piece of spin. Because a core concept of this bill is the idea of adding work requirements to Medicaid. Now, this has been tried many times before, and we already know that it does not work because we've seen it not work. Back in 2023, Georgia added work requirements to its state Medicaid plans, and the program that checked whether people were working enough to qualify was something they called Pathways. Last year, to promote the program, Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp released an ad. And it's an ad about a mechanic named Luke Seaborn, who was one of the first Georgians to receive Medicaid from Pathways. Seaborn became kind of a poster boy for the program.
My name's Luke Seaborn, 53, and we've been here at the shop at this place since 2018. Pathways is a great program that offers insurance to low-income and working professionals such as myself, and that's what I was. I was looking for insurance, low-income insurance, to help my son and I out because we didn't have insurance. I highly recommend Pathways to anybody that can use it and qualifies.
So, a ringing endorsement at the time from Luke Seaborn. But last week, ProPublica caught up with him to ask him about the Pathways program. And it turns out he is no longer a fan. They wrote this headline to describe the conversation. I'm going to tell you more about it. He became the face of Georgia's Medicaid work requirement. Now he's fed up with it. I mean, the first issue Mr. Seaborn ran into came just a few months after he taped that very ad that you just saw. Seaborn said he had logged his work hours into the online system once a month as was required. But his benefits were canceled after he failed to complete a new form that he said the state had added without adequate warning. And one of the issues here with Medicaid work requirements is all the bureaucracy. Now, lucky for Mr. Seaborn, he had someone he could contact since he'd become the poster boy. He reached out to the insurance executive who had asked him to be in Governor Kemp's video just months before. And she told him that she happened to be having lunch with one of Kemp's aides that very day. And wouldn't you know it, within 24 hours of that, Mr. Seaborn's benefits were restored. Governor Kemp's press secretary then claimed, wait for it, that the governor's office had no involvement in helping his case. But that timing is obviously quite a coincidence. Hard to believe. Now, after that incident, Mr. Seaborn decided to be more vigilant about his benefits. He even signed up for text and email notifications so he wouldn't be caught off guard. But still, things went wrong. He stopped receiving texts from the Pathways program in February. And then when he logged into the digital platform in early March to make sure everything was in order, a notice informed him that his benefits would be terminated on April 1st. That was in early March, so he had only a couple of weeks. My head exploded, he said. I didn't get a text or an email. I did what I was supposed to, but that wasn't good enough. Now, without coverage, Mr. Seaborn had to pay out of pocket for his and his son's prescription medications. He tried calling his insurance provider. No one called him back. But wouldn't you know it, the day that ProPublica reached out to the state government for comment about Mr. Seaborn's case, he got a call from the government himself. They told him they would make sure he got his coverage back. And sure enough, he did. But here's the thing. Even with a direct connection to the governor's office, even with a national news outlet literally pressing the state government about his case, Mr. Seaborn says he is fed up with the system. And he's not alone. Nearly 2 years in, of the 250,000 Georgians who are eligible to receive coverage through the program, only 12,000 have it. Only 12,000. Meanwhile, the state has paid upwards of $86 million, primarily to consultants, to build this dysfunctional screening program. ProPublica talked to a lot of other Georgia residents who tried to get health care through the state's program. And one after another complained about getting stuck in kind of a Kafkaesque bureaucratic nightmare. One woman telling ProPublica, quote, you go from one robot voice to another. No one called her back. Now, after nearly a month of trying, she gave up, telling ProPublica that she got the feeling that they really didn't want to help me. So that's how well adding work requirements to Medicaid went in Georgia. But just in case you think this is an isolated Georgia program, it's not the only state that added work requirements. Arkansas did it back in 2018. And how did that go?
Adrian McGonigal's life is coming undone. He, like many Medicaid recipients, got confused about how to report his hours.
I thought that everything was good about this. I thought it was just a one-time deal that you reported and then that was it.
He was wrong. He was supposed to log those hours online every month. He became one of the 12,000 people that the state has booted from the Medicaid rolls in the last 3 months.
How do I get my insurance back on?
He discovered this only when he went to fill prescriptions at this drugstore, and the pharmacist told him, sorry, your coverage has been canceled.
And that it was going to be like $340 for one of the medications and like $80 for the other one.
So he left empty-handed. This was a big deal because McGonigal has severe COPD, a chronic lung disease that makes it difficult to breathe. Without his meds, he landed in the hospital multiple times and missed a lot of work. His supervisor tried to accommodate him, but he wasn't healthy enough to perform his job, so he lost it.
So at the end of the day, 18,000 people lost their health care coverage because of Arkansas work requirements. 18,000. The system undermined Medicaid's ability to provide health coverage to Arkansas's poorest residents so much that the work requirements were ultimately stopped by a federal judge. And now, after seeing Georgia and Arkansas and how it's failing there, Republicans want this to make this system nationwide. They want to mandate it in every state in this country.